Welcome to this G-Trip video module, Introduction to Digital Cultural Heritage. In this lesson, we will learn about the history, current projects, and future of digital cultural heritage. First, let us look at the word heritage and its definition in the English language. As early as 1225, the Oxford English Dictionary defines heritage as something that may be inherited, especially property, land, which devolved by right of inheritance. Later, due to various political and societal forces, we see a different definition for heritage. In 1993, the Oxford English Dictionary notes a change in the meaning of heritage. By then, it is known as, quote, something pertaining to the preservation or exploitation of local and national features of historical, cultural, or scenic interest. Today, heritage gives many the sense of responsibility, a responsibility to pass along to future generations what has come down from older generations. What were some of the things that brought about these changing understandings of heritage? The 1954 Hague Convention for the Protection of Cultural Property in the Event of Armed Conflict is often cited as influential in the movement towards our current understanding of cultural heritage. At the convention, cultural property was defined as, quote, movable or immovable property of great importance to the cultural heritage of every people. Buildings, centers containing a large amount of cultural property. Vecco notes the expansion of the term heritage as it has come to encompass more generic terms such as monuments, and as it has come to replace other terms such as cultural property. Why heritage? Why cultural heritage? Locating and labeling cultural heritage is tied to an idea that such places or items or ideas need to be safeguarded from loss. They need to be preserved for the future and need to be valorized in today's cultural context. UNESCO has played a critical role in the field of cultural heritage due to their efforts to list and preserve cultural heritage sites around the world. Their 1972 convention, similar to the 1954 Hague Convention, stressed the important role of world cultural heritage. UNESCO makes a distinction between tangible and intangible heritage. Tangible heritage includes things such as buildings, historic places, monuments, artifacts, manuscripts, rare books, documents. Intangible heritage is what UNESCO calls, quote, traditional, contemporary, and living at the same time, and that can include oral traditions, performing arts, social practices, and rituals. Some people question the dominant framework and understanding of cultural heritage. Among the questions that professionals and community groups often ask about cultural heritage are: 1. To what degree is one community's heritage also part of another's? 2. Who owns cultural heritage materials and what are their rights? 3. Should countries be made to return cultural heritage materials to their original lands? And 4. How should access to cultural heritage materials be given? These questions have no clear or easy answers, but it is important to remember that not everyone agrees about the definition of cultural heritage. In information and library science, we often come across cultural heritage materials such as archival materials or artifacts in cultural heritage repositories. By cultural heritage repositories, we mean museums, libraries, and archives. These are also sometimes called memory institutions. A lot of the materials in memory institutions are in the process of or have been already digitized. While there is an increasing amount of materials in cultural heritage repositories that were, quote, born digital, unquote, most materials in digital repositories began as analog materials. Digitization is the changing of an analog signal into a digital signal, usually using the use of scanning or photographic equipment. The growth of the internet has allowed for the increased dissemination of digitized collections, be they in museums, libraries, or archives. By the 1980s, the use of digital versions of books and articles was becoming common in the United States. In 1984, the National Archives and Records Administration launched a project to, quote, test the utility of digital image technologies for the reproduction, storage, and retrieval of archival documents. Digitization creates a digital surrogate of the analog object. Digitization is often carried out for preservation reasons, but materials are also digitized with the intention of making them available to larger groups of people, larger groups than would have physical access to the same materials. For example, a rare manuscript or fragile artifact in a far-off location. The resulting manifestations of cultural heritage materials on computers and on the internet is known as digital cultural heritage. There's no one definition for digital cultural heritage. Some say that it is, quote, a selected pool of materials in a digital format deemed worthy of preservation for posterity. And another person says that it is, quote, a tool of historical reflection within contemporary society. This is to say that digital cultural heritage is not the entire historical record of a country or a community. It is what has been chosen, what has been curated by some people in that community for posterity. Here are some notable digital cultural heritage projects, one being UNESCO's Memory of the World project, the other Europeana, which makes collections held by Europe's libraries, archives, and museums available online. A third is Aluka, World Heritage Sites of Africa, which includes photographs, 3D models, aerial and satellite photography, excavation reports, manuscripts, maps, books, and articles, all available online for scholarly research. The digital humanities was formerly known as humanities computing. It is essentially the use of the digital in humanities scholarship. Many digital humanities projects make use of digitized collections of heritage materials. Cultural heritage and the digital humanities benefit and feed each other. Many successful digital humanities projects have been built upon the use of cultural heritage materials, especially digitized cultural heritage materials. The digital humanities offers a way to understand, theorize, quantify, and tell the stories of cultural heritage materials. Here is a list of scholarly resources selected to help you delve deeper into this topic and to encourage you to preserve, use, create, and valorize your own digital cultural heritage materials. Thank you.